I'm Harry Mays, and when Vic Fangio was asked if I'm a valued member of this Eagles squad, he said, right now, yes.
I'm Jason Martinez. No sus for spitting.
Yeah, how about that? Kevin Patullo, how about this? No script for the Eagles opening drive. Gutsy in your first performance as an offensive coordinator and play caller. All that and more on this edition of Locked On Eagle Squad.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad show starting now.
Welcome into the show, everybody. This particular episode of Eagles Squad Show is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is upon us. Visit FanDuel app today or start planning your futures bets now with FanDuel app. Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, Marc Barzetta. I got to say, gentlemen, after the game, my favorite memes were the Hawk Tua memes. Those were my favorites of all the ones that were out there. They just, oh, my God, it was awesome. Absolutely
I'd forgotten
incredible.
all about that girl.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did too. I'm sorry to admit, I still follow her on Instagram anyway. I'm
Do
one
you
of
really?
2 million people. I'm one of 2 million, Hair. I'm one of 2 million.
Wow.
I think she had 10 million at
that?
one point, and they all just kind of said, okay, enough.
Yeah. Put some spit in that thing.
That's pretty good, Hair. That's a good
Yeah.
impression. I got to say this. I am very happy with the league's decision. However, if you just try to take a step back and do an impression of someone who doesn't care about the Eagles winning or losing, or you're not an Eagles fan, you can just spit on somebody and it's a game check, essentially. That's what it is. The 57,000, that's what we're talking about here.
Well,
Did the
I mean,
NFL make the right call?
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, the fact that he missed the entire game, I thought was enough. He didn't spit in his face. He didn't spit in his, try to spit in his eye. He spit on the jersey, and it was kind of a half-hearted little loogie anyway. I mean, after and did Dak Prescott even get fined? I didn't see where he got fined. I saw where they fined Jalen Carter, which
his
I
fell
figured
incomplete,
they would
Harry.
have. Well, right, yeah. His spit was one of those old McNabb worm burners.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't even connect.
Well, what happened?
He
What
tried to
would've
throw the
happened
CD
if-
Lamb, but he dropped it. Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah, well, that too.
What would have happened if Jalen Carter just went, oh, yeah, Dak, boom, and right to the ground with it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's because it hit
nothing.
him, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I love how like they brought this to the court system, and they're like, well, he didn't play a snap. He gets time already served.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? This is like a kangaroo court.
I try to
Time
ask this
already
question.
served.
Do you want spitting on a player to be okay in the NFL, or do you not want it to be okay in the NFL? I don't want it to be okay in the NFL. I think the NFL's decision is weak. Dak spit on the ground. I think that matters in all of this, simply because at least I could go into it with the idea that, oh, this wasn't a preconceived notion by Jalen Carter where he was going to walk to the Cowboys huddle and spit on the quarterback before the first snap of the game. At least I can wipe that away. Dak put it in the mind of Jalen Carter, a mind that needs some stern talking tos along the way, from what I understand at the NovaCare complex. And Jalen Carter took it to the next degree. I am very surprised that the NFL is saying it's a 1-game suspension without giving the 1-game suspension, but rather saying, oh, no, we're going to count that game that he was thrown out of as the 1-game suspension. For the rest of the league, I think that sends a bad message.
I think it's a confusing message because I'm confused. He wasn't suspended for a game. He was available for the game. He was ejected from the game. Now, I'm thrilled
6
with the
seconds in.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with the result. And look, if there was one play that happened defensively and then it happened, is it different? The only reason it really happened was because of the injury on the kickoff, and that allowed these guys a little bit of time to be unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it took place as the offense takes the field and the defense takes the field, but neither had combated a play yet. So yeah, I would be confused if I'm a player. I'm because you guys know this. Everything when it comes to penalty, perjury, litigation is about precedent. It's all about, this is the precedent you have set. So what is this? What precedent does this set? Is it good that Jalen Carter wasn't just walking around with intent to just spit on people? Yeah, he was provoked. Mm-hmm. That's good. I think that maybe is part of why they set this different precedent. And you have to treat each individual incident based on its own merits. And maybe the merits of this case called for that. I don't like the way they termed it because he wasn't suspended. The fact of the matter, he was available for the game and he was ejected from the game. He was not suspended because he's not going to be suspended for the next game. I'm thrilled with it because I think it gets to the right conclusion, but it is a bit confusing. And if I'm players around the NFL, I am going to my NFL PA rep and kind of saying like, okay, what does this all mean? Let's get clarity here.
Let's also not forget the NFL, although we get caught up in the competition and the fandom and, the sports aspect of it, as we should. It's a TV show. Okay. The NFL is a TV show and the best thing going on television, for about 5 months a year. And they got a big TV show episode coming up this Sunday against Kansas City, a Super Bowl rematch. Okay, against the 0-1 Chiefs in Kansas City. That's a big TV show. If Jalen Carter is not available for that TV show and you're the NFL, you're kind of kicking yourself in your nuts, if you ask me. Okay,
it's like writing Cliff Clavin out of the finale of Cheers. Harry.
Exactly. And the other thing is that I've done some thinking about this since it happened, is he was beyond where the line of scrimmage was towards the huddle, a few yards, a few steps, shall we say, and he stood there for a couple of seconds. Where was the official who was standing right by? Why didn't he come up immediately and get in between Carter and the Cowboys and be like, yo, Chief, you got to move on back. I know you're not a chief, but move back. Where was that? He was sort of standing by, sort of
waiting
watching
for it
this
to happen.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. And then it happened. Yep. So, I'm not trying to excuse Jalen Carter. He fell for a little bit of baiting by Dak Prescott, which I thought was weak in the first place. It really was kind of a half-hearted, I'm behind two of my offensive linemen, I'm going to spit on the ground in your direction. Kind of a weasel thing that we'd expect from a Cowboy player. But Jalen Carter took the bait and hocked one on his uniform, and he missed a big game. Okay, that could have been a loss. It actually should have been a loss. Mark pointed out, CeeDee Lamb is a real wide receiver in the NFL. If he's half of what he thinks he is in the NFL, Dallas probably wins that game because he makes two of those plays instead of dropping 4 balls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. And then just to get away from the spitting incident for a second here and just talk about the talent of Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter plays in that game. I think it's a totally different game.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to Sunday. Taking on the Chiefs again and having it be more about the talent that is going to be on the field as opposed to the talent that isn't going to be on the field. So when it comes to Jalen Carter, I look at game 1 against the Cowboys. Cowboys, especially in their first possession, they just drive down the field. They get some big runs up the middle, some nice runs up the middle that are not happening if Jalen Carter is out there. Their first touchdown is basically a punch up the middle, and they get the touchdown that way. And then Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, all these guys are a lot better on the edge if they have that push up the middle. And Vic Fangio even said it. Well, yeah, Jalen Carter being out, that just meant everyone else had to get more snaps, as well as Jordan Davis played for the most part in that game with whatever it was, like 77, 80%, 87% of the snaps, whatever it was. I don't think he was ready for that on week 1.
No.
He's never done that at the NFL level before.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me Jalen Carter not playing in that game didn't have a huge impact? It had a ginormous impact.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And maybe we talk about suspensions. Hey, if the Eagles really wanted to send a message to Jalen Carter for being a selfish nitwit like he was, maybe they hold him out for the first half of the game and he's only available in the second half. They do these half suspensions with the NFL anyway. If you have like some personal, I forget how it works, but you'll miss
conduct.
You have to sit out the first half of the next game. Well, maybe the Eagles could do that themselves if they really wanted to send a message.
Yeah, but the Eagles want to have a full complement of cast and character, Harry.
Right.
Back to your
TV show.
Yeah, for ratings and for quality of product they're putting on the field. They'll stand behind what the NFL did for sure. And that's the thing. Like, even the announcers mentioned it, Mark. As soon as he went out, this just opened the playbook completely for the Cowboys. It opened pages and chapters of their playbook. They had no plan or desire to even go near if he played in the game, not to mention the effect it has on especially the second tier of linebackers because of what he absorbs up front. So, yeah, like to Harry's point, I'm so excited this week because – you have the Super Bowl rematch. You have an 0-1 Chiefs team who lost in Brazil to the Chargers. You have the Eagles 1-0 with a division win. And, like, the preview, the movie trailer for this game, I'm going to go off Harry's thing till the end of this show probably, is fantastic. Like, I'm watching the trailer, the teaser trailer, and I can't wait for Sunday. Plus, they're playing on Sunday, which is awesome.
During the day,
which
is awesome.
Yeah, it's a football Sunday.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait. I can't wait for the game this week. I can't wait to see how Mahomes reacts. I can't wait to see how Jalen Carter reacts because Jalen Carter feels like crapola for letting his teammates down. And I know that as an athlete, when you let him down, you really want to make up for it.
I don't know. Does he? How do we know? How do we know that?
Harry, he's human, and he knows he's a big part of it. And he also knows that he got a talking to by the GM, by the coach, and by Vic Fangio. They haven't said that. I guarantee it. You are a big part of this team. You cannot be taking the bait on stuff like that. Your loss is detrimental to our success. And what I know as an athlete, when you hear that, you go, all right, I'll make it up to you. And the way he can make it up to him is by going out there and just disrupting everything, being an absolute farm animal. That's what I expect to see Sunday.
I better see that. And I will say, I agree with you about Vic Fangio. Like, I always go back to this because I think it sounds so mundane, but it really lets you know the microscope Vic Fangio has on some of these guys and Jalen Carter especially because, again, this guy is not – the wires aren't all connected sometimes for Jalen Carter. I'll just say that. So Vic Fangio last year, if you remember when he took over, he literally was breaking stones with Jalen Carter over not saying good morning to him. Like walk by him in the hallway. Like, what, not even a hello? Not even a good morning? Nothing? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, coach. He's like, yeah, okay. And it wasn't like a just breaking stones thing. It was making a point type of thing. Right. Listening to Vic Fangio yesterday, it reminded me of the Jim Schwartz quote. Remember Nigel Bradham, the Cabana Boy incident?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The gun.
He beat up the Cabana
gun
guy,
in the carry-on? Yeah. Gun in the carry-on at the airport? Not a great idea. Jim Schwartz, I'll never forget, said, do enough dumbass things and you'll be labeled a dumbass. Well, Jalen Carter, this is a dumbass thing. And a lot of people are going to be labeling you a dumbass for it. Now, it's up to you. And also to use Vic Fangio's words, it's up to you as to whether or not you want to be a real leader on this team. And real leaders, their actions speak a lot louder than their words. It's easier to lead somebody when you're saying, follow me, as opposed to go over that ridge, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So when I look at Jalen Carter, that's what I think of. I think of a guy trying to prove himself that is a leader on this team. And there's no better way to do that than to go out there and dominate. But Harry, to get to a point that you made, and I want to throw this around to you guys. I do not want the Eagles to take anything into their own hands. I don't want the Eagles to do, we'll show Jalen Carter now. We're not gonna play him for a series. Like I think I heard Jaws throw that out there. We're not gonna have him play for a series. We're gonna punish him. Hell no, he's available. You docked him the money. The suspension was applied to the fact that he was thrown out before the first snap. You're playing the Chiefs in KC because, God forbid, they play on the road, and you just unleash the fury in the game. I don't want to see the Eagles do any extra disciplinary action. If he's available, you let him play. The team was punished enough having to all of a sudden, oh, wait, I got to play like all the snaps now? Damn it. That to me was enough. Let the guy get in there, help out the rest of the team. I am not for the Eagles taking anything away as far as playing time goes for Jalen Carter. Harry, what say you?
Well, I mean, I doubt that they will do it, but I'm just saying, like, if people are all outraged about this as Eagle fans, that they can't believe that maybe he should have been suspended. Well, the Eagles could always do something on their own. That's why I brought it up. I don't think they're going to do it.
They did do it before. It was the oversleep incident. He overslept, and then they held him out in the first series.
Oh, first series, big deal. I mean, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, he was more arrested for the second series.
Yeah.
All right,
exactly.
Well, here's the look. Anytime you discipline a player, you're disciplining with the hope that it thwarts the behavior from happening again, and there's a consequence to your action. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that when Howie brought him in, Howie said exactly what one of our commenters said. Jeremy Van Sciver said, if Jalen Carter wants to get paid $50 million a year, he needs to be on the field. I bet you Howie had some version. I ain't signing you to no $100 million deal if you're going to be spitting on people and unavailable, because I'm paying guys to be available. And you want to hit a guy and make him nervous, where other than kicking him in the coyoons to make him nervous, is you hit him in the wallet, the potential wallet for the rest of your life. And you don't want to be carrying around this, geez, the NFL disciplined me and my team had to discipline me too. Like that, because that sounds to me like, okay, the NFL disciplined him, but the team goes, we don't think the NFL went far enough. So we have to compound it. That's a problem child. You know what I mean? Like, that's a player that doesn't learn, and that could be something that follows him around. And in the NFL, the way their contracts work, especially that ends up costing you dollars. So he'll fall in line. If this happens repeatedly, then maybe the Eagles got to do something, but I don't see this as an issue.
And Bill Romanowski's laughing at that attempt at a spit too. I mean, that was weak.
Yeah, Romo spit a Scud missile, Harry.
Exactly. If you're going to want to spit, either spit in the pile when nobody can see it, or really go right in the face. Forget this little down
grill
here
to grill.
On the lower part of the jersey, for God's sake.
Yeah. I honestly wish it's the rare occasion. I wish somebody would have, like, if you think that Dak Prescott really spit at you or tried to spit on you, which according to Dak is what Jalen Carter said to him, like, you trying to spit on me, that type of thing. It's the rare occasion that I'd rather Jalen Carter put his hands on Dak Prescott, not in a way to shove him to the ground, but in a way to draw attention. Like, this guy just spit at me. Like, what the hell? Like, Harry, you kind of said this earlier, and it's along the lines of digging somebody else's grave and you fall in. That's what I kind of thought helped happen with Jalen Carter. Dak Prescott, I don't think Dak Prescott spit at Jalen Carter. I think something was going on between him and Jalen Carter. Dak Prescott stepped between his linemen, spit on the ground, looked up, and then Jalen Carter was like, what, are you trying to spit on me? Right. And then Dak laughs, which totally looks terrible and not a good thing. And Jalen Carter gets face-to-face with him. And again, where are the referees in this moment?
I mean, he's right there.
I know they're not all, doctors checking out Ben Von Sumeren, who's sitting there on the field, done for the season, unfortunately. Yeah. So there was this little awkward start that allowed this lull that I guess Dak and Jalen Carter decided to fill the time by literally having a spat, if you will. So I find it.
That would have been great if Jalen Carter went,
obviously,
incomplete spit. You're 0 for 1 already, buddy.
Your first miss of the day. So I think we all agree. If you're the Eagles, you let sleeping dogs lie and you start anew, this time with Jalen Carter running the show. Now, when we come back, one of the things I want to get into with Jalen Carter is not just his impact on what he does for the defensive line, but everything else. So Dory Jackson was just straight garbage in that game. I got questions about CeeDee Lamb and Quenyon Mitchell because there are moments where CeeDee Lamb was not in the slot and Quenyon Mitchell was not following him. and it ended up really coming back to bite you in the old behind in that game against the Cowboys, and how it's going to translate coming up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Not just for the corners, but also the impact from Jalen Carter helping out those corners as well. And we all know there was some straight up burnt toast out there on the football field in week 1 against the Cowboys. All that more. Isaiah Jenkins. You want to bring him back?
His name was Toast.
Yeah. Because he got burnt all the time.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go. I love when Adoree Jackson was in the medical tent. People wrote, somebody said on Twitter, Adoree Jackson in the medical tent with 3rd-degree burns.
Oh,
right, we'll get back to that when we return. Wow. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back right after this. Hey, let me tell you about the incredible, the amazing, the absolutely great time you can have on the FanDuel app. Download the FanDuel app, create an account, and make sure that you guys get in on all the action on the FanDuel app, because it's a great time, especially with the new NFL season upon us. FanDuel has so many great ways to get in on the action with parlays, also same-game live betting. It is a great time. NFL season being upon us, make sure FanDuel is right there every kickoff, every step of the way. And right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the FanDuel app. One of the reasons I love using FanDuel, because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building same-game parlays, like I mentioned, and even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. Quick, easy, and the best way to add a little bit more energy to your game days. So, you're ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by going to FanDuel.com. That's the FanDuel app at FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. And if it hits, you get up to $300 in bonus bets to use across the app on FanDuel.com. So we have this situation here, Harry, that I want to get to with the cornerback room.
Yes.
Adoree Jackson does not look good. Adoree Jackson looks really bad. And this is the guy that beat out Keely Ringo in the preseason. Not that that's exactly a high benchmark. And Quenyon Mitchell, we were told, was going to be following guys around, was going to be following around the top target. Now, I know CeeDee Lamb is predominantly a slot receiver, but there are plenty of moments, the pass interference in the end zone, 32-yard catch down the field on Adoree Jackson, where he was not lined up in the slot. He was lined up on the outside. I got an idea. Maybe have him go out there and play the number 1 wide receiver on another team, especially if it's a predominant slot guy that's not in the slot. And for the people that are like, well, George Pickens is, really good too. No, he's garbage compared to CeeDee Lamb and what CeeDee Lamb can do. So I'd still much rather see Quenyon Mitchell traveling with the number 1 guy.
You think so? Really?
Wait,
no, I'm
what?
serious.
George Pickens?
Yeah. Pickens is good.
He's not as dynamic, but he's more reliable to catch the ball.
He's a good receiver.
Yeah.
He's just a pain in the rear end. That's why Pittsburgh didn't want him.
He's a good receiver. Yeah, put it this way. CeeDee Lamb, I think, is an elite receiver. George Pickens is a good receiver. I'll put it like that. That's how. That's
well, CeeDee Lamb did not look elite.
And if I have the option, he absolutely did not. No, I agree with you. But, I mean, if you're telling me 100 times, 99 times out of 100, or you give me 100 opportunities, to take a wide receiver, it would be CeeDee Lamb. So I would, plus, if I only really have in nickel coverage 2 outside guys, one of them is Adoree Jackson, the other is Quenyon Mitchell, I'm taking Quenyon and putting him on CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, we talked about this post game.
Obviously, things didn't work out for Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, we talked about it post game. I was
Vic Fangio came out and said, I will say,
there's something
Vic
up with
Fangio
Mark's
said
connection.
that Adoree Jackson needs to be Am I slow? Is it slow? Is
something
it slow
seems very delayed or off or something. I don't know. Bizarre.
All right. Well,
but anyway, you were talking about Vic Fangio.
Oh, no, frozen. Yeah. Now I'm frozen. I'm going to pop out and pop back in.
All right.
Cornerbacks. That sucked.
Talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, Harry and I'll talk about it real quick because we did. We talked about that post game.
Yeah.
I brought that up that, why was Adoree Jackson on CeeDee Lamb. Because in the beginning of the game, Harry, we didn't know CeeDee Lamb was going to be having a bad day.
No, absolutely. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you obviously want to isolate him on the weakest link of the secondary, and they knew it coming in that it was the outside cornerback number 2, which happened to be Adoree Jackson. It would have been Jacorian Bennett if he'd have been in the game. It would have been Keely Ringo if he was in the game. They were going to go somewhere else and try to get him away from Quinyon Mitchell, and they succeeded by and large for the majority of the night. Now, that's something that the Eagles, defensively are going to have to look into. Now, I know the Chiefs aren't going to have Worthy this week. He got banged up with friendly fire last week running into Travis Kelce and has a separated shoulder. So you're not going to have to worry about him this week, which is good. But this is something that the Eagles, Vic Fangio and these coaches are going to have to figure out a way, because if you're the opposition, it's obvious now. We're going to try to get a matchup on whoever's playing cornerback number 2 on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, but I thought, to Mark's point, the notion was going to be, well, whoever's on cornerback number 2 is not going to be a CeeDee Lamb. It is not going to be their top receiver because Quinyon Mitchell was going to follow that guy around the field. But that didn't happen in that game. It didn't, and I think that's the point you were making, Farzy, is that why was Adoree Jackson trying to cover CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, and when Fangio was talking about how that was going to be a difficult thing in last week's press conference because they're both good receivers, I was like, oh, that's adorable. Like, he doesn't want to give out any more information about what Quinyon Mitchell is going to do. And then that's exactly what ended up happening in this game, which was a bit of a head-scratcher, especially, again, when CeeDee Lamb was on the outside. Like, I get at times when the guy lines up in the slot, you're not going to have a guy that's predominantly an outside corner go in and all of a sudden play nickel, essentially. Yeah. But I did think it was interesting when CeeDee Lamb was lined up on the outside. Then the icing on the cake was the Quinyon Mitchell on George Pickens down the sideline, and Quinyon Mitchell's all over him. And he gets called for the pass interference, like 30-plus yards, whatever it was. So that was a head scratcher as well.
That's one of the biggest plays that Dallas had in the game.
It really was.
It was a first down play on third. Yeah, it was a huge play.
CeeDee Lamb had 76 yards receiving in the first quarter alone. Like, that is unbelievable. And would have blown it up had he been able to catch the football throughout the rest of the game.
4 legit drops, and 2 of them were of huge ramifications.
Yeah, and that PI on Mitchell, when he's trying to cover Pickens, was on 2nd down and 25, and it gave him a first down. It was a 34-yard gain, gave him a first down, which eventually led to a touchdown. So that was huge.
It was pretty frustrating. That's what. Hey,
there was another play.
Go ahead.
Later down the left side in the end zone where Quinyon was on Pickens, and they both had some hand-to-hand combat, but they didn't call that one.
That was good no call. I like seeing that. I like seeing a little battle.
If there's a little bit of it happen on both ends, they're both reciprocating some hand battle. Yeah. Totally fine with that.
Reciprocating the hand battle, exactly. By the way, that first half, that was fun. That was like I thought you were going to have like a 50 to 47 type of game.
Yeah.
And then
I don't like defense.
It was a good game until the stupid lightning delay. I mean, that just ruined everything.
Jake Elliott had the 58-yard field goal, and then nobody scored.
Yeah.
That was it. First possession of the second half, you get the 58-yard field goal. And that was it. That was a wrap. And a big part of that, well, 2 things. One was the drops with CeeDee Lamb. Mm-hmm. The other was the fumble by Miles Sanders.
Oh, that was enormous. I mean, that was play of the game.
It was absolutely changed everything.
Yeah.
Changed the flag in the end zone, I thought, speaking of soft stuff, Reed Blankenship, I thought let up a little bit on the hit he could have had on Jake Ferguson, who was bobbling the football in the end zone. He makes a good play on it, but then gets the flag for a defenseless receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get new life. The Cowboys get new life, unfortunately. And then they have that life taken away immediately by Miles Sanders fumbling the football. How about that? Miles Sanders still helping the Eagles against the Cowboys.
Yeah, after like a 49-yard run that he had just a couple of plays prior to that.
Yeah. And Zach Bond catches up to him.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, that should never happen, by the way. That's the difference, was the difference at Penn State, is the difference in the NFL between Miles Sanders and Saquon Barkley. Barkley ain't getting caught from behind by Zach Bond.
Yeah. But how about Byron Young stepping in there, man? With that forced fumble.
Yeah, Jahad Campbell slows him down. Byron Young forces it out.
Big play too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. So going back to the cornerback position, by the way, am I better now? Is this connection better now?
Yes.
See, what happened was I have one browser that is like, hey, StreamYard, come on, let's party. I have another browser that's like, nope, blue screen of death. And because I'm an idiot, both were open.
Oh, okay. I have the Google browsers, the only one I use for the StreamYard.
Gotcha. All right.
It's the only one that works
Chrome.
for me.
You use Chrome. That's called
Chrome.
Chrome.
Yeah. Chrome. Yeah.
Try using, if you have these issues just for future broadcasters and streamers, try using the Google Chrome in an incognito window. It tends to work very well.
Incognito window?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll send you a YouTube link, Harry, on how to do that.
Okay. Why would I need to go incognito?
You should always be incognito.
I don't look at that stuff anymore. No, I'm good. I'm good.
You should be like
wasn't
Dory
inferring
Jackson.
that, but now that you brought it up, no, it's just because it's using less other processes in the
bandwidth
window.
It uses less bandwidth.
Yeah, by using less processes, which gives you better stream quality.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good.
It gets you to the mainframe a little easier. You know what I mean? The mainframe. By the way, mainframe I thought was going to be something. Mainframe I thought we'd be using a lot more in this digital age. We don't use the word mainframe anymore. It's not a thing.
I don't know if we need to get to another timeout here real quick or not, but if we do, when we come back, I want to talk about Kevin Patullo.
Big matchup this week.
I think we got a conversation here.
Yeah.
Because, look, I never like to question a win, but I question some elements of Kevin Patullo. I'm having some questions about the Paisan.
Yeah.
Like, did Paisan not have the spaghetti before a good pasta meal?
They won the game, but it wasn't the greatest debut.
Yeah.
Interesting you say that. Yeah. All right. Let's do that. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about no script Patullo, throwing that out, and also we're going to get into Jason has got a bone to pick with Kevin Patullo. All that and more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. And right now, let me tell you about SupplyHouse at SupplyHouse.com. This is fantastic, and it's what you need for people in the trade professionals. Trade professions, that is. When you're opening a store, whatever it might be, you need a new repair. When you're looking at so many different things over the tools that you need to do the job, SupplyHouse.com is where it's at. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects. So they keep you busy, and they make sure you're doing the job right. Need parts fast? SupplyHouse.com. Need a part finder for tools, 3D schematics, all that stuff? SupplyHouse.com. And how about this? Their Trade Master Pro perks are fantastic. Like priority shipping and dedicated support, make whole process smoother. Join the free Trade Master program today at SupplyHouse.com and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and dedicated support line. Visit SupplyHouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5. That's SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order at SupplyHouse.com. Real people, real service, SupplyHouse.com. So go ahead, Jason. Problem with Kevin Patullo, do you? You got an issue? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it's weird because when you look at the raw numbers, the play breakdown, you go, I like that. Like, I like the fact that the Eagles ran. You have Saquon Barkley, obviously, Will Shipley. You tried to run the ball on first down 14 times in the game, where you tried to pass the ball only 6 times on first down. I like that. I think 2 of those runs were also runs by Jalen Hurts, so really 12 by the running backs. So I like the fact that the Eagles were not penalized on a first down the entire game. That tells you, they're prepared and they're together. There's no false starts, no guys lined up wrong or things like that. So there's elements that I do like about what he was able to do in the game, but it just, well, from a numeric standpoint, it looks okay. From an eye test standpoint, it was lacking, I thought, in the game. I'm pretty sure you agree with that too, Harry, where we're kind of scratching our head at times to not go to the outside.
Yeah.
You're getting bottled up in the middle of the line of scrimmage via the ground, and they didn't throw a pass to A.J. Brown until garbage time.
1:42 left in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
your best wide receiver did not see the ball. Like that, to me,
not even a target.
Right. I don't know how that's possible, number one. So that's number one. And number two, the overall production from the two big wideouts for the game was minimal.
Yeah, Devontae had one catch prior to that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand, what's going on there. It's nice that they got Dotson involved. That was great. We talked about that on the post game. I've been harping on this third wide receiver needing to step up. Who's it going to be? Last week it was Dotson, made a couple of nice plays, and that was good to see. But the fact that you can't find a target. I don't know how much of this is, dictated on covered. I'm not watching the all 22. Was he open a few times and Jalen just didn't look his way or decided to go somewhere else? I don't know. But the fact that he doesn't see a target until 2 minutes to go in the game is preposterous to me.
Especially a guy that when he gets the ball can do something with it.
Right.
So if he's not getting the target because you're stretching him out and trying to stretch the field with him, okay. Throw a little underneath to him. Get the guy involved.
Yeah.
I mean, because we know the difference of what they are when he's involved as opposed to when he's not. And the same thing with Devontae Smith. The most memorable play I saw from Devontae in the game was a block down the left sideline.
The Shipley catch?
Yeah.
Or actually, they turned it a run. That was
behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Patullo. The idea of him throwing the script away or saying it wasn't scripted. The first drive of the game for the Eagles was 10 plays, 70 yards. Now, that you look at that and you go, and it was about 6 minutes, and it was capped off with a touchdown. You look at that and go, oh, wow. Hey, good job, Kevin Patullo. Scripting the first 15 plays like every coach should, every coordinator, play caller should. And then you really think about it and you go, wait, hold on a second. There was no script to that? So how much of that was Jalen Hurts? Mm-hmm. And then you also think about the way the drive ended, which was Jalen Hurts not having anything open in the end zone. And, I did go back and I watched the all 22 of it. Yeah, nobody's there. Nobody's open. So he makes the right call. He finds a lane, runs it in for the touchdown, does a little Jordan shrug, which I loved. And then next thing you know, the Eagles are tying the game at 7-7. I found it extremely interesting that there was no script.
Yeah.
It goes into that.
Buy it? Do you buy that there was no script?
I do. Yeah. I do buy it, and here's why. I buy that there was a script. I think they definitely had a script going into it. But as far as the game was unfolding, I think a lot more of it came on what Jalen Hurts was doing at the line of scrimmage. And that was my big ask of Jalen Hurts going into the season. Yeah, last year, people wanted to talk about, can he make the throws if you really need him to make the throws? And, look at that. He's Super Bowl MVP. How about that? While making a hell of a lot of throws. But the other thing was, is he going to be okay with Cam Jurgens calling protections and not Jason Kelce being there in front of him to shift those protections? He took that responsibility on last year. Hardly anybody talked about it until the end of the season, and he passed that test with flying colors. Now he doesn't have Kellen Moore. He obviously doesn't have Shane Steichen. It's been a minute since then. How much more responsibility is he going to take on, not just with the offensive line and protection, but how much responsibility is he going to have when it comes to calling plays, checking down? Is he going to take that to another level? Because last year, he was great at doing it. He was great at those checkdowns. He was great at, nope, this would be great for Saquon. Here you go. Nope, this would be great for that rub route with Dallas Goedert. Here you go. How much of that was Jalen Hurts in that opening drive as opposed to what was scripted by Kevin Patullo on that opening drive? That's what I thought was really interesting about Kevin Patullo saying, yeah, we kind of threw the script out. We didn't really use that first. That wasn't scripted. I think they might have had it. And then Jalen was more so being influential in what they were doing.
I think you should trust a quarterback in the growth of his career. And we know where he is now, about 27, prime. He's got a tremendous accomplishment already. Very mature. I think you get to a point where as an offensive coordinator and a head coach where you go, okay, these are the scripted plays, but you're out there. you see it, you feel it. If you see or feel an opportunity somewhere else, you have full autonomy to check off it and exploit. Because if we're just trying to force a square peg into a round hole because it's what we scripted in our meeting room on Wednesday and it's not what the defense is giving us, then we're stupid. You know what I mean? We're dumb. Now we're trying to fit the square peg in the round hole because we're stubborn. So I think that's what you saw. So like maybe the term of no script or throw away the script is almost more inflammatory than it actually is. But the fact of the matter is that like Jalen made plays happen. You talk about that first touchdown, Mark. As soon as he saw nobody was open, I said, "Oh, that's too easy." There was so much room in the middle of the field. It was like, Dan Marino and a Walker could have gotten to the end zone there in his prime. There was so much room. Like, and we know Dan Marino had no mobility, right? So I think that's just a lot of trust in the quarterback. But the thing that's worrisome, though, to me, is just the not getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved. They went to the Dallas Goddard well quite a bit.
Yeah, and it was all short stuff.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. At positive yardage, good. But I want to stretch the field because if you stretch the field, what does that do? That makes Saquon more effective. If Saquon runs, that's helps stretching the field. And in games now going forward where you're playing teams that are better than the Cowboys, like probably this weekend against Kansas City, you're going to need both of those elements, some running game to work to stretch the field and stretching the field to make the running game work.
Yeah, I just find it really hard to believe that this Dallas Cowboys defense, minus Micah Parsons, by the way, who they lost days before the game, was good enough to hold everybody in check except for Dotson, who got it loose on a 50-yarder. Everything else was less. There was no double-digit plays in the passing game. Think about that. Mm-hmm. No, everything was 6, 7, 8 yards in the passing game. Now, come on. Like that to me is bizarre. Maybe it was just a one-off. I don't know. But that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing this week when Kevin Patullo goes up against a real defensive coordinator with Chris Jones and no Landon Dickerson maybe. Well, we still don't know about that. He's questionable with that back situation. And you got a Hall of Famer on the other side of the line of scrimmage there, and a hungry team playing at home that has lost their last 2 games, one of which to you.
Mm-hmm. And you kicked them when you did it.
Right.
Stage in sport.
Yeah.
Are you Spags? Spags over there? Huh?
I'm not doing it today.
Well, Harry, I'll tell you bring up an interesting point because if you're looking at the way that the game started, and touchdown, field goal in their first 4 possessions, you're going, this Kevin Patullo guy really knows what he's doing.
Right.
But then when you go back and you look at it, you go, well, wait a minute, hold on a second here. You mean to tell me Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown couldn't get more involved in this game plan? You mean to tell me Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, and Matt Eberflus are just completely out-scheming you and know exactly what you're doing next? Yeah. So I was thinking about like this. The A.J. Brown, hamstring injury, Devontae Smith, groin injury. Were they being extra cautious in this game? I go back and I look at A.J. Brown running around. He looks good. Yeah. He looks like he should be getting open. From what I saw, he was not open. Like, if I had to grade it between a scale of, the Super Bowl versus the Panthers game last year, I would say it was somewhere in the middle there as far as guys actually being able to get open, something that was egregious and Jalen Hurts was missing. It was around the middle. There wasn't an amazing amount of plays where I thought, they left a lot of meat on the bone there. Which I think is going to be Kevin Patullo's job to kind of make sure they can crack that open when they need it. Because in this particular game against the Cowboys, I was waiting for that shot downfield. We talked about, the Jahan Dotson had 51 yards. Shortly after the 2-minute warning, set up their second or third touchdown of the game, which was great. That was the Saquon Barkley touchdown. Mm-hmm. But where was the other shot downfield? You bring up the 2nd and 25 on the pass interference to Quinyon Mitchell on George Pickens. Where was that for the Eagles? Right. Where was them just taking a shot? You mean to tell me Dak Prescott saw, Quinyon Mitchell, let me challenge him? No, they took a shot to see what they could get out of it. It's so easy
to draw pass interference in this league.
Especially in the beginning of a year.
Yeah.
They're dying to throw that penalty because they've been this edict, like, let's get this under control this year. And it always falls by the wayside. But at the beginning of the year, it's like they got one finger on the trigger to pull that flag.
Well, their big thing this year is now the taunting, like after the play. If you look at the player you tackled for more than 3 seconds, you're going to get a flag. That's the big deal.
And we talk about post-game, Harry. It's ridiculous.
Noel Smith.
Yeah, that one. Right. He got it.
Put over him and, like, flexed. It's like...
the horrible message we're sending
or something. Like, come on.
He should have just spit on him. He
exactly.
should have just spit on him. He should have spit
He'd have just been thrown out, and he'd be available this week.
I thought that when the Eagles had the interception, they did the tush-push a celebration after the interception in the game. Did you see how they got everybody together on the goal line and did the tush-push?
Yeah.
They should have just all lined up down there and spit.
Right.
That would have shown solidarity with Jalen Carter.
That's coming this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question before we move on and talk about some of the new acquisition and everything. I heard this question. I actually got asked this question the day after the game. Was the win over the Cowboys an encouraging win for the rest of the season? Are you encouraged by the Eagles beating the Cowboys?
I am.
Okay. Why are you encouraged, Jason?
2 simple reasons. 1, they're a division team. 2, they're in your conference.
Yeah, I mean,
the Commanders. The Commanders beat the Giants, but
I'm not more encouraged than I was prior to the game. I will say that. But I never scoff at a win in the NFL, especially week 1 when it's usually a lot of slop because these guys rarely play much in the preseason. They don't hit a lot. They don't tackle to the ground in practice. It's just, I've said this, 100 times already on this show for 6 months that September is the preseason, but it counts. You really see a lot of bad football, and it wasn't great football, but you got to win, like Jason said, against an opponent that's in your division, in your conference. Those are important wins to get early on, and you beat a rival. So
they didn't turn the ball over at all.
Right?
Either.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like,
this time last year,
in the first quarter.
This time last year, Jalen Hurts might have had a fumble and 2 interceptions in that game.
Yeah,
until he figured it out.
Yeah, I'm here's where I'm at. If you're the Cowboys and the Eagles said to you, all right, look, you could pick any player that's not going to play on our defense. Go ahead, you pick him, and he won't play. Who is it? And they'd go, Jalen Carter. Well, that guy was out. That guy didn't. And this is on the heels of no Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because you got rid of him. This is on the heels of no Josh Sweat. This is on the heels of no Brandon Graham retiring. This is Nakobe Dean. You have a rookie linebacker back there next to Zach Bond. You don't have Darius Slay at the cornerback position opposite Quinyon Mitchell. And now you're down Jalen Carter. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. So the fact that the Eagles still found a way to not only win the game, but shut the Cowboys out, bottom line, in the second half. And I know there was other things that went into it. And when they needed to make a big play defensively, they made that play between Jahad Campbell and Byron Young. They went out and they did it. That to me is an extremely encouraging win. Oh, and the fact that if things weren't open for Jalen Hurts, like I believe on both red zone plays that he scampered in for the touchdown, oh, wow, you have a quarterback that can just make a touchdown out of that. That's pretty damn good. So, yeah, I will say it's encouraged. And, yes, to all the points you guys made, Thursday night opener, first game of the season. You didn't play in the preseason. You're going up against a division rival, all of it.
Yeah, banner night, too, which sometimes has an effect on teams.
I think there was a lot more adversity in that game for the Eagles than we thought there would be. Obviously, when you have the banner night, even though they didn't go on the field, your rhythm is disrupted a little bit, your preparation. They overcome that element. There's an injury to one of your guys on the opening kickoff that you probably would lose for the season.
Yeah.
That is a disruption. Then you have a weather delay in the third quarter of an hour. What was it, an hour and 4 minutes?
An hour and 4 minutes, yep.
And you come back and you give them nothing after. That's a lot of adversity. And all we talked about through squad shows through the summer, preseason, training camp was, well, we can't really judge the defense because Jalen Carter's not out there and he creates so much. He wasn't out there again, and they still won the game.
Yeah. By the way, are they allowed to look up at the banner when they're on the field?
No. No.
Coach Sirianni says you can't even look up at it to acknowledge
That's
it.
what Jalen Carter was going to do, Harry. He was going to point at the banner at that.
Well, yeah.
Because he wasn't allowed to look, he decided to spit on him.
Yeah. Good stuff.
You know, they weren't out there
you get
last
disciplined
time.
by the Eagles if you look at the banner.
They weren't out there last time.
Clips.
Yeah.
You know,
it feels good that there was. It feels good that there was a last time. But yeah, Doug Peterson wasn't out there with the team the last time they dropped the banner. No. This is a thing. This is a thing. And you know what? I hope they're not out there next year when they unveil the banner. How about that?
Harry and I talked about this in post game too. As far as you think about this for a second. Like these people that were born in 96, 2000, 2001, like they think this is normal. Like the Eagles won a Super Bowl in 2017 season, 2018 technically, right? Mm-hmm. They went back to another one and they lost. And then 2 years later, they go back to the Super Bowl again and win. Like their team, like they're like, yeah, my football team has won 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we went until 2017 and my dad's lifetime prior to not winning a Super Bowl. Yeah, they won some NFL championships, 48, 49 in 1960, but whatever. These people think this is normal. Like they don't realize, like people of our vintage, like we thought this was impossible when Norman Brayman owned the team.
Yeah.
And even through much of Jeff Lurie's tenure until recently, we thought success like this in Philadelphia would just never happen for us. And they're a Super Bowl contender again with a rematch this week.
Well, they're the favorite, and they're the favorite on the road against Kansas City. God. They're a 1-point favorite against Kansas City on the road.
Like, think about that.
That's pretty incredible. It's me.
On Thursday last week when it was game day, like you couldn't go anywhere without seeing Eagles green. Like I went to I was at Costco that day.
You're always at Costco.
I am.
You're at Costco like every day.
Costco needs to actually be a sponsor.
You should get benefits from Costco. You're there so much. You're there more than some of the people that work there.
Exactly right, Harry.
Yeah.
They contribute to my 401k.
Yeah.
But like everywhere you went, you just saw Eagles everywhere. Like we're a week into the season. Like it could be another magical year. Like this is tons of fun.
And they're already making moves too, like crazy. Howie Roseman never sleeps, man.
He's got ants in his pants. This Howie.
I will say, Jason, you know who I hate, and it is people born in 1996. I hate those people. Just hate them. Just God, hate every one of them. Tell you why. They're 11 years old and they see the Phillies go to a see the Phillies make the playoffs. Yeah. They didn't go through any of the lull.
Mm-hmm.
They don't remember the 10,000 losses.
Yeah, they're 12 years old. They experienced their first championship, and they think this is life. Wait, our teams can win, and the next thing you know, Super Bowls. What are we doing?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, even though they saw the Eagles go to the NFC Championship game all those years, and then finally go to Super Bowl in 05.
5 of them.
04 season. Yeah, I mean, like, they don't realize that for 100 sports seasons in Philadelphia, the 25-year drought, there was no championship.
Right.
There were some fun times, like 01 was fun.
Yeah, I mean, what have they been to? 8 NFC championship games since like 01 or no? I'm saying since 01.
Since
they went to 5 with Andy Reid and got to 1 Super Bowl, but there was 5 NFC championship games.
Yeah,
and now they've been with
because 2007 was in there too. You're right.
Right. So I think another 3, or am I missing any?
No, I think you're about right.
Yeah.
I think you're about right.
That's pretty crazy.
By the way, since 2000, I mean, you had the Sixers go to the finals.
Yeah.
You had the Eagles do what they did.
I am so out on the winter sports teams. They don't even exist.
Well, what? Joel Embiid was just working out. Joel Embiid was just working out.
This is football. Forget it.
Yeah, but like, there's been a lot of success since the turn of the century in Philadelphia sports.
Yeah.
And you have 2 different
1996.
Teams.
Yeah.
1996. Yeah. I hate you. I hate you. All right. How about that?
Flyers get swept by the Red Wings in 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry be texting me in 2 weeks when the Bruins are playing.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, not without Tab Marchand.
They stink too.
They do.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. Colin Berger. or Berger. I don't know. Yeah,
Berger.
What's up, Colin?
It's Berger.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone born in 1994. Philly sports have been nothing but successful in my life.
There you go.
94. I like 94. The 94 people, welcome. 96 people, hit the bricks.
You know what 94 was, Harry? Penn
that?
State went undefeated and were deprived.
Oh,
of the
that's
national
right.
championship by Nebraska.
Didn't they win the Rose Bowl against Oregon that year?
And Ducks, yes, they
yeah.
kicked the teeth out of them,
Yeah.
but they didn't. They said they wouldn't have won the coaches poll. Although Vegas had said that they put out a line on Penn State versus Nebraska that year, Penn State would have been favored by 2.5.
Yep.
And
there you go.
That's Kajana, Kerry Collins, Kyle Brady, Mike Archie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was at Penn State that year. They beat Michigan on the road, and we went and tore down the goalposts at Beaver Stadium. They carried it up College Avenue, and when Joe Paterno,
they put it in his front yard.
He's walking in his house at 2:30 in the morning after the flight got back, and the goalpost was in his front yard.
Yeah, I remember.
Great memory by you, Harry.
All right, now we got a bunch of
Wheatley on that Michigan team.
Oh my
too,
God,
Harry.
you are on one today, man. What's going on with you?
Kicking.
You're on a.
I feel good.
The Flyers are at the practice facility, man. He's amped up.
He's ready to go to Allentown for the.
He's sniffing his hockey bag just to get back into the vibe, man.
But anyway, the Eagles acquired a bunch of players this week. We got to talk about that.
And we will. We'll do that right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Back in a second. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Back after this. How about Mazda? Huh? Mazda. Fantastic when you talk about Mazda and all it can do. You can just move through life, or you can find the things that move you. It's your choice. You could choose to get out there, choose your people, and you could choose to go for it. Like, really, go for it. Just choose to do something that moves you. Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. Mazda. Move and be moved.
When I move, you move.
I'm just it's one of those things you got to read verbatim, Harry, and that you thank you. You just how I moved just like
I was
that.
Moved.
You were moved?
I was moved.
Did Tank Bigsby becoming a Philadelphia Eagle move you, Harry?
Hey, Will Shipley breaks a rib, and Howie does not sit idle. He doesn't promote anybody from the practice squad. They're like, we need better. So he what did he deal? 5th or a 6th round pick to Jacksonville?
5th and 6th.
Seems like it's kind of a big move. This must mean to me that Will Shipley's going to be down for a little while. Broken ribs, and hopefully that's it. But Tank Bigsby was an accomplished player in college. I haven't been following him in Jacksonville, but I was pretty pleased with that. They never rest. It's like week 1, we're 1-0. We got a broken rib on a running back. I'm making a move. Boom, we pull somebody in here. It's incredible.
He did it in 2017 too.
Yeah,
AHI trade. He refuses to get caught, with his pants down, and always has depth and a backup position. Look, he gave up a 6th round pick. Like, that's Kyle McCord.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know
a 5th and a 6th, I think it was. Yeah.
I mean, 5th, you got a better chance of grabbing somebody that may contribute to your practice squad. But Howie's like, well, I can always just sign one of those guys anyway when they get cut from somewhere else. So he looks at those picks as using equity to garner an insurance plan. He always puts himself in a position of protection. And the one thing that he does, I think, that he didn't do in Howie 1.0 is that he recognizes a mistake and doesn't double down on it. He makes mistakes.
Well, Bryce Huff.
Yeah, but he's not afraid to admit it quickly.
Yeah,
and rectify the mistake.
And apparently that Bryce Huff deal, the 5th round pick that they got back, or could be a 4th if Bryce Huff gets 8 sacks. Yeah. Well, that's not going to happen. So it's not going to convert. He's not going to get 8 sacks. In fact, he played 50% of the snaps against Seattle in week 1 and made 0 stats.
Not a guy.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
You played half of the snaps.
Half of the game.
Did nothing.
And showed up 0 on the stat sheet. So, anyway.
I'd in the meeting, you pull that guy aside and go, it says here you played 50% of the snaps. Did you actually play 50%?
I have to go back and watch the film to make sure you really played.
Is this
Did you let somebody borrow your jersey?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did you shower after the game, by the way?
Yeah.
Because you didn't need one.
Yeah.
Bigsby, by the way, also can return, just to throw that in there. But I agree. What I think the conventional wisdom is you're not trading 2 picks, regardless of 5th and 6th or 6th, whatever. You're not trading 2 picks for a guy just to return punts for you, essentially. Yeah. So he's going to be in the game plan. Too. What's that?
Dotson will be fine at it. I thought he was safe in the game.
He fair caught everything.
Yeah, he was safe.
Yeah.
And Mechie was out there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you have 2 guys. But, I mean,
surprising.
Dotson did it in college well. It's just maybe he's got to get comfortable doing it at the NFL level. And I think you'll be okay.
Maybe. Then the other acquisition is Darius Smith, by the way.
Darius Smith, yeah. Well,
that's the bigger one as far as I'm concerned.
Totally agree.
Because
they
need bodies.
They do. And this comes off the heels of the Jay Glazer report that they offered 2 first-round picks, a 3rd and a 5th for Micah Parsons, and Dallas didn't want to trade him within the division. So they took a little bit less and sent him to Green Bay.
No.
Yeah,
I think it's a good pickup.
Willing to pay the tax.
I do too. I do too. I mean, it's been a while since he's had a huge year. He's been kind of bouncing around a couple of teams after Detroit, and but he's a guy that can go get you 5 sacks.
Dude, imagine the storyline if Parsons would have ended up here.
Oh my goodness! I mean, he made some impact in that game against Detroit. I mean, he didn't play that much, but him running down, he ran down Goff. Yep. That was pretty good.
But think, I mean, like
I love that.
all the Penn Staters that we have here already, number one, and just the Eagles, Cowboys, like it would have been. Oh,
yeah.
Oof. Eagles were willing to overpay too. Pay the tax.
Boys, do you want to do predictions? Do you have predictions? Do you think the Eagles win this game on Sunday?
I'm not full blown on a
I'm
prediction
taking
yet.
Kansas City.
You're taking KC?
I'm not betting them, but I think they win the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time
when
the Eagles hit the road this week and don't get – look, when you look at the career numbers of Patrick Mahomes, they are as good, probably better than Tom Brady in most categories. I think you're going to get everything that dude has this week. So
I'm worried about Spags versus Patullo this week.
That's not a chess match I want to
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of confidence in that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Paisan on Paisan crime, too. So I do worry about it. That's like a Sicilian versus a Calabrese. So we'll see. But I'm kind of with Harry. Like I'm nowhere near settled on a number on the game yet or how it'll play out. But I would lean towards Kansas City this week, and that's not the end of the world.
No, it's not.
I'm still on the Sicilian versus the Calabrese. That hits too close to home for me, Jason. That's hilarious.
You were surprised I could come up with a Calabrese.
I just Calabrese and Sicilian. I think there's a lot of wars. I got a guy who used to tell me calzones back in the day when I was just a young pup. He used to tell me, "Oh, you're Calabrese, I'll give you a calzone, even though I'm Sicilian." And then he told me the stories, and there's a lot.
He's
of
Siciliano.
He was, he was. As a matter of fact, Giuseppe at Nat's Pizza in Doylestown.
Is there a red and white checkered vinyl tablecloth somewhere involved in this sit down?
And Paulie Walnuts with the thing under his neck to get under hair tan?
No, but there's breadsticks in a glass in the middle of the table.
Yeah, there you go.
Beautiful.
I got the Eagles winning this game. I'm
shocked.
I regret.
All right, here's the bet.
Yeah, what?
If they lose the game, you have to join us post game because we know Locked on Luigi will not. How about that?
I own an ice cream truck. I drive it around post game. That's what I do. So I'll be unavailable, unfortunately. But at least I said that going into it. Anyway.
Okay.
At least a segment. You owe us a segment. You can check in on the telephone.
He doesn't owe us anything.
The diesel. I got to fill up the diesel in the ice cream truck.
Diesel's expensive.
Yep, it is. It takes a lot of concentration too. You can't be frustrated. You know what I mean?
Farzi's ice cream truck plays "Fly Me to the Moon" from Sinatra.
I thought about doing a meatball truck where I just make meatball sliders. As a matter of fact,
wow, dude, that would be brilliant.
Yeah. I think I can make some coin. I can make some coin.
We could do the squad show on remote with the moving meatball truck.
Well, it's good too because as far as it'll have the Phillies
pull up in front of the Art Museum steps.
They start at 1:35. That game will be over, and then he'll do his post game. So he'll be even plenty of time to watch the second half of the Eagle game.
Yeah. If
there you go. Let's go with that.
I'll be sending you a link.
Yeah,
you can have a couple of drinks if you're preparing just for a segment.
Yeah.
On that note, his name's Harry Mays. That guy right there, that fella's name is Jason Bertitas. My name is Mark Farzetta. Thanks for checking us out on the Eagle Squad Show. We appreciate everyone. We see you, SC Birds fan, Jerry Von Skyver, Colin, we got you in there. Nice to see everybody in there. Ted, nice to see you. Always a pleasure. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Harry and Jason will have you covered for your Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Following the Eagles, beating the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. Not so much Kevin Patullo winning the chess match, but Jalen Hurts winning the chess match. That's what I'm going to go with for this game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys next week. See you then.